Hey, what's up guys, MGH here. Welcome to a special World Cup video. It's the end of the World Cup. I'm absolutely gutted, and this is probably going to be my final video about it. We're going to be doing my team of the tournament. Now, let me just start off by saying this, because these videos do often get quite a lot of hate, dislikes, because people just don't agree with other people's opinions, and that's absolutely fine. If you disagree with my team of the tournament, no problem. I'm not going to pick the same players that you might pick. So feel free to leave a comment down below with your team of the tournament and any changes you would make to my squad. But please, let's keep it friendly. It's just a bit of fun. And actually, my team is probably going to be very different to a lot of others, because I'm actually going with a 3-5-2 formation. Or maybe, I don't know, I might go with a 5-2-3. Because actually, I think that suits the team of the tournament more. You'll see what I mean at the end of this video when you see the team. So let's go ahead and change up the formation, and I'll start picking out my best players, and also I'll be talking about the players that didn't quite make it into the team but also deserve a mention. So I've decided the formation I'm going to use is the 3-4-3. I think it best suits the players that I've picked. I've also gone ahead and picked a manager of the tournament. We're obviously going to go with Didier Deschamps because, well, he won the goddamn thing. So well done to him. He changed his tactics based on who they were facing, which was really impressive. And he becomes the third person to win the World Cup as a player and as a manager, which is very impressive indeed. So let's get into the first position. And already a bit of a controversial, I hate this word sometimes, controversial pick. Everyone will be saying, but hang on, Courtois won the Golden Glove award. Yes, he did. But I think there was one goalkeeper that I personally think should have won it ahead of him, and that is going to be Subasic. He goes in for me. He was incredible for Croatia. Don't forget, they played penalties a couple of times. They did a lot of extra time. They actually played an extra game compared to France when it got to the final, because they'd had 3 extra times, which is 3 sets of 30 minutes. That's an extra game. And the main reason I think that they were able to keep progressing through, not the only reason, but one of the main reasons, was because he was on fire in goal. He was saving penalties, saving shots, one-on-ones, and I think Subasic has to go down as the best keeper of the tournament, in my opinion, with Courtois right behind him. Now, as the right centre-back, I know he's a right-back, or at least was a right-back during the tournament, but he is a centre-back, and I think he would have been just as good at centre-back. He's a brilliant young player, and definitely one for the future. So Pavard gets in this team. I would have put him at right-back if I was using that formation, but he's the only player that's going to be out of position, if that makes sense. So Pavard goes in there. Now, as the main centre-back, it's a really difficult choice, but I'm going to go with Varane. I think he was comfortably the best centre-back at the World Cup for me. He's still so young. He's won everything you can win already at the age of, what, 24, 25? He's a World Cup winner. He's won the Champions League, what, 3 times with Madrid? He's just absolutely unbelievable, and he has to get into this team. Now, don't get me wrong, he was playing in a very good French team, but for their defence to perform as well as they did, I think a major part of it was down to Varane. And it's crazy to be saying that of someone who's just 24, 25 years old. He really hasn't got that much experience at an international level, at a World Cup, for example. And he's still got so much more to give. It's quite scary, actually. Now, the left centre-back is a bit more difficult. I was going to put Umtiti, but actually I'm going to go with Harry Maguire. Now, you might disagree with me just because Umtiti was part of the winning team. But Maguire did something very special in this World Cup. He is a bit of an unknown entity going into this tournament. He's had one good season at Leicester. He was at Hull previously. Wasn't really in the spotlight. But this summer, his value has doubled. He's being linked with Manchester United. He's been linked with Chelsea. He is our best defender. Moving on to the left mid position, we are going to go with Perisic, because although he didn't play very wide, he often came into the middle and was very effective behind the striker. That was the position he played, out on that left side, and he was one of Croatia's best players, and they had a lot of great players play in this tournament. He scored goals, he got assists, he made defensive contributions that were absolutely vital. There were a few times where he was back defending at left back when their left back was caught forward. We're going to go over to the right side now, and I've mentioned him already, but we're going to go with Tripp Pierre, who of course has been playing right back / right wing back, but we're going to put him as a right mid in this formation because he effectively played as a right mid most of the games. he was getting forward more than he was getting back. When he got back, he did his job, but most importantly, going forward, those crosses, the free kicks, the deliveries, everything about Tripp Pierre in this World Cup was superb, and I actually think he was our best player. I really do. Him, Maguire and Pickford, for me, were the 3 best players in an England shirt. I guess you could say Kane did very well getting the golden boot, but actually don't think he played particularly well. Now, the heart of midfield, there is only one player that gets into the team in this position, if you ask me, and that is the player of the tournament, officially, Modric. He won the golden ball, deservedly so. Some people said that Mbappe deserved it more because he actually ended up winning the World Cup, but for me, Modric was the best player at the tournament. Still one of the best midfielders in the world. Still so much to give, even though he's obviously getting on a little bit. But deserved to win that golden ball. And although he looked so upset at the time, of course he was going to feel upset. He just lost the final. But he can go home with a lot of pride, knowing that he was just on another level. Absolutely amazing. I enjoyed watching him. He's just magnificent at what he does. He just controls the game completely. Then on the left side, we're going to go with Kante, arguably similar to Modric in terms of just controlling that midfield, although he does a bit more of a, I don't want to say more of a high energy role, because Modric ran the most in this World Cup, I believe. His stats say it all, but Kante effectively plays as 2 players. It's like having 2 players on the pitch when you've got Kante. He's integral to both Chelsea and France. He's an incredible player, and I absolutely adore Kante, and I wish we had a Kante-esque player at Arsenal, and maybe we do now with Torreira. Now, on the right side, again, it's a very easy choice. We are going to go with Mbappe, who is, of course, a striker at PSG by his default position, but definitely didn't play as a striker. He was more on the right side, cutting inside. What more can I say about Mbappe? I mean, this kid has literally everything. He's only 19 years old. He's a World Cup winner. He'll end up at Real Madrid. He'll win the Champions League with them multiple times. He'll win the Euros and the World Cup again, probably with France. He's got another 14, 15 years of his career at the very top level. And I think we're looking at the next best player in the world for sure. So Mbappe, no matter how much he's worth, he's probably priceless, as I mentioned in my World Cup review. For me, deserved to get the Young Player of the Tournament award, but almost very close to getting the Player of the Tournament in general, which would have been, I think, a first for a teenager to win that, and it would have been absolutely mind-blowing. Now, this is where it does get a bit more difficult, and this is probably where I'm going to get a little bit of hate. But on the left side, I'm actually going to go with Griezmann, who you could argue played as a second striker with Giroud up front, Griezmann off him, and then Mbappe kind of drifting on the right. But Griezmann appeared a lot on the left side, and actually think he did a very good job there. Griezmann may not have scored many goals that weren't a penalty. He still scored a lot of goals for France. He was still a vital component of that team going forward. And without him in the team, just like with Kante, like I said with him, without Griezmann going forward, I don't think they would have scored as many goals, that's for sure. Because not only was he scoring, he was a massive part of the assists, the movement, and just the general play going forward. And that's why Griezmann gets into my team. Now, this is the hardest position because technically you should be going for the Golden Boot winner, right? Harry Kane should be in there because he scored the most goals, but I'm not putting him in there because I don't think he actually performed like a Golden Boot winner. And that's fine. He goes home with the award, and after all, he did a great job for England. So well done to Harry Kane, but to be in the team of the tournament, you need a real consistency in your play, and I don't think that he had that. There is one player that may not have scored too many goals, but was just absolutely vital in this country's journey, and that's going to be Mandzukic. He's just brilliant. He's absolutely fantastic. He scored some very important goals. He got a very lucky one when Lloris tried to take him on. But Mandzukic, I mean, to me, he's one of those big game players. You would rely on him, wouldn't you, up front? You would know he would play well for you. This will be his last World Cup for sure. You know, he's getting on a bit. He's not the favourite at Juventus, and actually they've been playing him on the left sometimes, which it doesn't seem fair because he's such a good striker. And I think that he could get one more big move in his career and do really well for any team. I think, though, with Ronaldo coming into Juventus, his time is probably over. He won't play as much as he would like to. But he's a hard-working, proper striker, and most of all was consistently one of the best players in that Croatian team. So that's why he gets into my team. I think Mandzukic deserves to be in there absolutely 100%. So that's going to be my team of the tournament. You may disagree with me, and that's absolutely fine. I'm not going to be upset with anyone. Just please don't blast me in the comments and, you know, dislike the video. I'd really appreciate if you could be constructive and just leave your comments below and tell me your team and what formation you would use and which players get into the team. But I'd find it difficult to improve this. I mean, maybe Umtiti instead of Maguire. Otherwise, I don't see how you're going to improve this team. And let's add some subs in here. So we are going to go with Umtiti. Definitely deserves to be in there. Also, Hernandez, who played left back, was brilliant for France. You can't actually see because I'm in the way, but I've put Umtiti and Hernandez there. Lucas Hernandez of Atletico Madrid, who played left back for France. I thought he was very impressive. Another player that could have easily got into the team, Pogba, was absolutely fantastic. Also, Rakitic, he deserves to be in there, I think. Rakitic had a really, really good tournament. Who else am I missing? I guess you could put Kane in there just because he did win the Golden Boot. I think it'd be unfair not to include him in at least the subs or reserves. Who else we got in there? I think maybe Hazard. Hazard had a very good tournament, and so did Lukaku. Maybe he gets in as well. And there's also, I could add more, but do I need to? Probably not. I think that's fair enough. I'm really happy with that. I had to really think about this, and I was struggling, especially with the striker, but I went with Mandzukic just because of the reasons I spoke about. But again, let me know your thoughts down below. Tell me what team you would put as your team in the tournament. But I really enjoyed the World Cup, and I'm really going to miss it. And the fact that I've managed to get 2 English players in there, almost 3, is incredible to me. I would never have thought that 2 of our English players would potentially get in the team of the tournament. Of course, this is not official, but it would be my team of the tournament. And I'm so pleased that England got to the semi-finals, and it's such a shame we didn't go one step further. But it was a real test, wasn't it, playing that Belgium game? You could see we weren't good enough to win this tournament, but we'll go again in 2 years. And then again in Qatar, which is going to be in the winter, which might help. But thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Really appreciate it. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe as well. And I will see you next time.